Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Salaki. And double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutation to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I want to go into this quick lesson of this article I had seen yesterday. Entitled Pretty 27-Year-Old Virgin Says People Think She's in a Cult. I don't want any of this before my wedding day. And just going through the article and reading through some of the things that she was saying and how she had to deal with the responses that she got from her being a virgin and not being basically touched as a 27-year-old woman. That's like it's been a lot of reproach coming from the world, But I'm gonna read a little bit of it. I'm gonna get a couple scriptures. It says, in a world where dating apps thrive on swiping right hookups, one Texas woman is rewriting the rules of romance. No kisses, no sex, no compromises. It says, meet Elza Hudson, a 27-year-old who's proudly saving both her first kiss and her virginity for marriage. Which is how it's supposed to be, Women are supposed to be, before I even go deep into this lesson, I'm going to say this. This is not to bash or shame any woman, especially women that's making that transition or trying to do better, according to the standards of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Because we all went off. We all sinned, We all have done wickedly, or done amiss. The dynamic between the dynamic between a man and a woman is the same dynamic between the nation of Israel and the Heavenly Father. So just like we have went after other gods and chased after strange men and dealt with all these nations and their gods, and the Lord said we committed adultery, we're the same with our women, And it happened like that to teach us a lesson because it doesn't feel good being on the receiving end of it. So this is all a lesson for us to learn from, but how it's supposed to be and how the Lord created it to be and how it's going to go back to is the only man that a woman is going to be with is her husband. That's how it's supposed to be. She's supposed to be saving herself for her husband. First kiss, first time, having sex. So on and so forth, losing her virginity to her husband. That's how it's supposed to be. But according to this woman and her experience, she gets shamed for it. And that's wicked according to the scriptures. Now I'm gonna read it and then I'm gonna get the scripture. It says, while friends and strangers alike are baffled, some even asking if she's in a cult, Hudson insists she's not missing out on anything. She says, I'm a virgin and I'm saving this for marriage too. She tells Kennedy News, a kiss can sometimes lead to intimacy and I don't want any of this before my wedding day. It says Hudson lives in Houston, admits she once struggled with shame about her inexperience, but has since embraced her stance with confidence, which is crazy because she's being ashamed of doing what's right according to the scriptures. Let me get a couple of scriptures. Let me do that. I'm gonna come back to this. This is okay. Try to get straight to the point. This is Isaiah 5:20. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So woe to them who demonizes and downplay and ridicules people for doing righteous, or call things that's righteous wicked, and try to demonize and try to look down on it. But they glorify what's wicked. The culture here in Babylon the Great is extremely wicked. The way Babylon the Great is ran and the mindsets that dominates this place is extremely wicked. But what's righteous and what's considered righteous in the eyes of the Lord is what's demonized here. So that woman that's saving her wanted to save her virginity for her husband, that's extremely rare in this world, and that's righteous. But that's how women are supposed to be. The only experience a woman's supposed to have is with her husband. Men in their right mind do not want women that's experienced, because you get to experience she learns you. That's how she learn you. She'll learn everything that you like, and you won't have to worry about her knowing how to please another man. That as a man, you don't want to think about your woman knowing how to please other men. You want her to only know how to please you. I'm gonna get another precept. I'm gonna go back to where I was actually. It's Deuteronomy 22, starting at verse 13. It says, if any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her and give occasions of speech against her and bring up evil. I'm reading the AMP, it makes it simpler. Verse 13. If any man takes a wife and goes into her and then scorns and hates her and charges her without cause with shameful behavior and publicly defames her and says, I took this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find in her evidence of virginity, meaning she wasn't a virgin. And we took that extremely seriously because Yahweh Shema Mashiach took it seriously. When a man marries a woman, she's supposed to be a virgin. She's not supposed to be experienced or not supposed to be popped by another man, because sex is marriage. And the Lord takes that seriously, and we take it seriously, But in this case, the Lord is telling us how to handle a situation if a man marries a woman and she's not a virgin. If she is a virgin or if she's not a virgin, how to handle that situation. Now, I'm gonna jump down. Oh, wrong chapter. What verse is this? Now I'm gonna jump down. Now, verse 20. But if this charge is true, that the evidence of virginity was now found in the young woman, then they shall bring her out to the doorway of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death, because she has committed a deliberate sin in Israel by playing the prostitute in her father's house. So you shall remove the evil from among you. So we took that seriously. So it said if she was found, she was being a hoe in her father's house, she wasn't married to no man, but she was sleeping around. And then when she finally get married, that man found her not a virgin. He said, look, you bring her outside her father's house and stone or kill her right in front of the house. Because and that brings shame upon your name. That brings shame upon your household too. And if you have other daughters, it makes it harder for them to be married, because one of them was already a hoe, and the rest of them tend to follow suit or be somewhere in that field. It happens like that sometimes. So not only was she being stoned, but it brought shame unto your name, unto your house. But this woman is experiencing the complete opposite. People are shaming her for wanting to be a virgin and save it for her husband, which is extremely wicked. And she's not bad looking at all. Very pretty. And she's natural. Now it says, at one point in high school, I did ask myself if I was scared of intimacy, she shared. I think it's more about being intimate with someone that doesn't really like me, and they took something from me that's important. Right? Because virginity is extremely, extremely important. And when a woman has sex with a man, they retain the DNA with every man that they have sex with. That's also another reason why they're supposed to only have one husband. Their entire life, they're supposed to have one husband. And the only time they're able to marry another man is if their husband die. That's the only time. But they're supposed to have one husband. And a part of marriage or sex is a bond. That's you're literally creating a bond, an intimate bond. Y'all grow closer to each other, and the longer y'all live together, and of course be intimate with each other, the woman takes more on. She takes on the spirit of that man. You know, every woman, every man that a woman has sex with, she takes on his spirit too. That's another reason why they supposed to only have one husband. They take on the spirit of every and energy of every man that they sleep with. So she has the right mindset to only want to be with her husband because she gonna take all of his energy, you know, and be only for him. It's like she's exclusive to you. That's how the Lord made it. It says her boundaries tend to shock people her age. It don't shock me, you know. I'm only, I don't know when her birthday is, but I'm only a year older than her. It doesn't shock me at all. So let me see. I'm gonna jump down. It says, with her 30s on the horizon, Hudson isn't budging. On my wedding day, I'm excited to share a kiss with someone who wants commitment, she said. I'm more excited about being with a person that I can have a real connection with rather than the kiss itself. So she's focused on, you know, and to a degree, all these women have a sense of that romanticized fantasy life, you know, because they won't, you know what I'm saying, America has fantasized and romanticized how relationships really supposed to be. And it's contrary to how the scriptures say. Now, that's not to say men and women can't have a connection and love each other, because the Lord is all about life. You know, he's pro-life, pro-family. He created the connection. So, of course, he understands it. But America has fantasized and romanticized it. Romantic goes back to the word Rome. It goes back to the Roman Empire and what was portrayed there. America just modernized it. But this woman is in the right mindset. And like I said, you know, it don't give no other information about her or nothing. But just to say, if she's actually in her right mind about being a woman and serving her husband and serving her man, she could very well be a woman being exclusive for a brother, you know, and she's a virgin. You know, she'll be exclusive for a man of the Lord. You know, that's all up to the Lord. Now it says, and look what they say next. It said, and if that day never comes, Hudson's at peace. I'm comfortable with the idea that if it never happens, I'm not missing out on anything, she declared. If a family is what I desire, I can adopt and have a family. I would just be a kissless person, you know? And and that's what they say with it. It might not ever happen. You might need they trying to convince her. Basically, this world is trying to convince her of, well, you might need to go ahead and get some experience because what you're looking for probably ain't gonna happen. But this world is wicked, and that's why the mass majority of these people ain't gonna make it. This world is wicked, but the mindset that this young woman has, especially over here in Babylon the Great, that's extremely rare. You know, extremely rare. So like I said, if she has the right mindset as far as serving a man and being in order, she can very well be of the elect and being exclusive, being set aside exclusively for a man of the Lord. You know, women with this mindset, the Lord is going to make extremely happy. And it's going to make some brother happy, you know, whoever he may be. But I just wanted to touch on that real quick, real quick lesson. And Lord will, it was edifying. So on that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.